What if I told you there's a country rich in untamed beauty, resilient people, and silent strength, a place the world is just beginning to understand? A country that's been hidden in plain sight on the northern edge of South America, quietly nurturing one of the planet's most powerful combinations of natural wealth, human potential, and cultural harmony. That country is Guyana. For decades, it remained under the radar, often overshadowed by its neighbors, rarely making global news. But recently, everything changed. A massive oil discovery suddenly thrust Guyana onto the world stage. And now, investors, corporations, and governments are turning their gaze here. But let me ask you something. Is oil Guyana's greatest asset, or just the loudest one? Because when you look closer, past the rigs, pipelines, and profit reports, you'll find something far more enduring. A land of rainforests, rivers, traditions, and untapped potential that runs deeper than any oil well ever could. Segment 1. The oil boom. A game changer. In 2015, Guyana made history when ExxonMobil announced one of the largest oil discoveries in the last decade, just offshore. Since then, more than 11 billion barrels of recoverable oil have been confirmed beneath Guyana's seabed. By 2024, Guyana was producing over 600,000 barrels per day. That number is projected to double in just a few more years. Suddenly, a country once considered economically fragile is being called the new tiger of South America. Multinational firms poured in. Skyscrapers in Georgetown multiply. Billion-dollar contracts are signed. Guyana's GDP growth hit record-breaking highs, unmatched globally. Make no mistake, oil can build fortunes. It can power nations. But history warns us, oil wealth can be a blessing or a trap. It can create rapid growth, but also deadly dependence. It can fund hospitals and schools, or fuel corruption, inequality, and environmental collapse. It all depends on leadership, planning, and long-term thinking. So here's the pivot. To secure its future, Guyana must look beyond the oil and recognize the other treasures it already holds. Segment 2. A natural wonderland. Guyana's green gold. Did you know that over 80% of Guyana's landmass is composed of untouched tropical rainforest? In the age of climate crisis, where forests are disappearing at alarming rates, Guyana is one of the last places on Earth still enveloped in green. Its forest forms part of the Guyana Shield, one of the oldest geological formations in the world. Here, nature isn't just surviving, it's thriving. Majestic jaguars silently roam under the canopy. Howler monkeys echo through the morning jungle. Harpy eagles, one of the world's most powerful birds of prey, soar above the treetops. And the riverways shelter the giant river otter, black caiman, and hundreds of freshwater fish species found nowhere else on Earth. In fact, Guyana has over 1,300 species of animals and 6,000 plus species of plants. Still not impressed? Picture the Kayetir Falls, a thundering, breathtaking force of nature that plunges 741 feet down into the wilderness. That's nearly 5 times higher than Niagara Falls. And unlike Niagara, no tourist crowds, just nature in its purest form. This is Guyana's green gold, a wealth that, if managed wisely, can secure the nation's future far beyond the life of oil. In fact, Guyana is among the very few countries to operate at net zero deforestation and is earning carbon credits through international climate agreements. That means the world is literally paying Guyana to protect its forests. Now that is a forward-thinking, future-ready nation. Segment 3. Culture, Heritage, and Harmony. But what truly strengthens a nation? Not just its economy, but its soul. Guyana is a land of incredible cultural fusion. It is home to indigenous peoples like the Arawak, Makushi, and Wapishana, the original guardians of the land. Afro-Guyanese, descended from resilience and strength. Indo-Guyanese, bringing rich flavors, traditions, and language. Chinese, Portuguese, and European communities, also shaping the national identity. Here, mosques echo next to mandirs and churches. Festivals for Diwali, Eid, Christmas, and emancipation fill the streets with light, color, and unity. From the aroma of pepper pot and tal puri to the rhythm of steel pan and tassa, from the community spirit in the villages to the fire of carnival during Mashramani, Guyana's true currency is its people, strong, diverse, and bound by a shared sense of identity and hope. This isn't just multiculturalism, it's coexistence, it's harmony. It's a model the world could learn from. And within this cultural richness lies another hidden power, the youth of Guyana, driven, literate, and full of dreams. Segment 4. The real economy, beyond oil. Let's take a step back and remember this. Oil is new to Guyana, but for generations before that first rig ever tapped into the Atlantic, it was the farmers, the miners, the market vendors, and the land itself who did the heavy lifting. From the flat, fertile coastal plains to the mineral-rich interior and the expansive savannas of Rupununi, Guyana's real economy, its original backbone, has always been deeply tied to the earth. Let's start with agriculture. Guyana has some of the most arable land in the Caribbean. From the days of sugarcane estates under colonial rule to today's agricultural cooperatives and family-run farms, Guyana has been feeding not only itself, but the wider Caribbean for decades. Massive rice fields stretch for miles, planted, cared for, and harvested by multi-generational farmers. Rich sugarcane plantations remain a source of pride and employment. And on smaller farms, you'll find cassava, plantain, edo, pineapple, and other ground provisions that sustain both rural livelihoods and national culture. But now the sector is evolving. Young Guyanese entrepreneurs are turning to hydroponics, aquaponics, and organic farming to increase yields, minimize waste, and export premium produce to niche international markets. With proper investment, Guyana could become the breadbasket of the Caribbean, even a leader in agro-tech innovation for the region. Now, add to that the mining sector. Guyana's interior is a source of major economic revenue. Gold, still one of the top exports. Bauxite, a building block of the global construction industry. Now, increasingly important, rare earth minerals which power electronics and green technology. But make no mistake, this wealth must be extracted responsibly. We've seen in other countries how unregulated mining destroys forests, disrupts rivers, and displaces indigenous people. Guyana has a chance to be different. To lead the world in green mining standards that protect ecosystems while still unlocking value. And then, there's the sleeping giant of Guyana's future economy, its ecotourism potential. Imagine this. Flying into the Rupununi grasslands, where wild horses roam free and indigenous traditions thrive. Trekking deep into the Iwokrama rainforest, guided only by the sounds of macaws and advice of your Makushi guide. Camping under the stars along the banks of the Essequibo, listening not to traffic or crowds, but the rustling leaves and ancient stories. Visiting community-run lodges where hospitality is warm, local, and laced with generations of knowledge. Tourism is not just about profit. In Guyana, it can be a tool to preserve culture, empower rural communities, fund conservation, and create pride in national identity. And the best part? It leaves forests standing, rivers clean, and Guyana's soul intact. Tourism built on conservation always outlasts the market cycle of oil. Segment 5. The Crossroads. Which path will Guyana take? At this moment, Guyana is standing at a historic fork in the road. One path leads to short-term gain. Highways, megaprojects, foreign ownership, and unchecked development. It's fast, flashy, and yes, tempting. The other path? Much harder, much slower, but far more rewarding. It leads to long-term prosperity, built on sustainability, education, clean industries, preserved ecosystems, and inclusive development. A future where local people, not just investors, hold the keys. This turning point isn't unique. There's a name for it. The resource curse. Time and time again, nations that struck oil without a vision saw short-term wealth quickly turn into long-term despair. Venezuela, Nigeria, Equatorial Guinea, rising inequality, crumbling infrastructure, political turmoil, environmental disasters. But here's the truth. The resource curse is not unavoidable. With bold leadership, transparent policies, and a commitment to all citizens, not just a few, Guyana can write a completely different story. Imagine oil wealth being used wisely, building not just roads but digital highways, giving every child in Guyana access to high-speed internet, funding climate resilience projects so when rivers rise and seasons shift, people are safer, building community healthcare centers in the heart of rural regions, so no mother delivers her child without support. But most importantly, investing in people, education, innovation, culture, accountability. It means letting farmers, indigenous leaders, youth groups, environmentalists, and small business owners into the planning room, not just energy executives. Let's be clear, Guyana's oil is a powerful tool, but if used carelessly, it becomes a trap. If used wisely, it becomes the fuel for a nation unlike any the world has seen. In every generation, nations are given a moment, a chance to decide what legacy they will leave behind. This is Guyana's moment. But it's not just about GDP. It's not about being the richest or the fastest developing. It's about being the wisest, the greenest, the most inclusive, the most visionary. It's about showing the world that growth doesn't have to destroy. That culture is not a luxury, but a strength. That forests standing healthy are worth more than forests cut down. Guyana is not just rich in resources. It is rich in story, history, heart, harmony, and wisdom. This isn't just about 2025 or the next election or the next oil block. This is about a 100-year plan, a legacy, a story the world will admire, not just for what Guyana found beneath the earth, but for what it chose to protect above it. If this message resonated, if you believe the world needs more stories like Guyana's, share this video. Comment below, what is your vision for Guyana? Subscribe for more stories of futures that honor both people and planet. Together, we can raise awareness, influence conversations, and inspire the leaders, present and future, to see beyond the oil. Let's help Guyana write a new definition of wealth. One tree, one step, one choice at a time. Guyana's hidden wealth. Nature, culture, people, not just oil. Coming soon. Inside the Amazon of the Caribbean. Guyana's rainforest legacy. Ambient sound of chirping birds, river currents, distant tribal drums. Final fade to black with website or socials if applicable.